We are back, we are back, we are back. It is still Tuesday evening, and you are still locked to CKUT 90.3 FM. You're listening to Soul Perspectives. My name is Kim Dominique-Ferguson. I'm in studios with.
Renee Jordan.
And we have on the air with us MCity Solo, Montreal Solo, if you're close.
Yeah, that might be my intro.
Hey, you could run with it. 10% royalties, my friend. 10% royalties.
All right.
I accept all money sent my way. Yeah. So he's released a new track. He's a hip hop artist here in Montreal. He's done motivational speaking at schools, toured quite a bit, and the latest track, Slow Wine, that came out. So we were talking during the break, and your latest track has a bit of more Caribbean vibe, and I'm interested. Like, have you transitioned from hip hop to have a more of a Caribbean flavor? What's going on there? What motivated that?
I didn't transition. I'm still keeping my base hip hop. Why I haven't really, I wouldn't say I transitioned, because before I actually tried to do a complete transition of sounds, and I kind of got lost in the sauce. So I had to bring myself back to my base, which is hip hop. But I like to fuse with different sounds. Actually, on the album, there's another song, a Spanish record with the guy Billy the Diamond from Guatemala. But why I like to fuse is because if you're from Montreal, especially, I find we should fuse our music. I find that our cultures here are so diverse and so mixed up, and in a good way. And I really find that, like, no one here is just one thing. I find that the sound from Montreal is really it's good to mix it up with different cultures and different sounds. And that's really what I tried to do that in my first album, and I just tried too many sounds. And I realized that I'm Trini. Like, I'm Trini. My bass is Trini. I know Trini vibes, so I stuck to what I know. Although I know hip hop, I know Trini vibes as well. I know soca, I know calypso. So it's like, okay, it wasn't that far of a leap. And the artists I work with were cool as well. Where I actually know them on a real level as well. So it's just like, okay, we could do this. The beat wasn't too soca. It was kind of dance, EDM-ish, Afrobeat-ish. And so I was just like, okay, you know what? With soca, Afrobeat, hip hop, we could combine this and make this a Montreal anthem. And everybody from the city's been rocking with it. So I think I'm onto something.
Okay.
Nice.
I have a few more coming.
And the artist from Guatemala, did you meet him there? Did you meet him here? Is he a Montrealer?
He's from Guatemala. His name's Billy the Diamond. He actually just heard one of my records, and he hit me up on a DM on Instagram, and we were going back and forth. I recorded a verse for a song that he's doing, and then he was telling me how much he enjoyed my song, and I was like, okay, maybe you could do the remix. And I sent him the files for it, and he knocked it out the park and sent it back to me. And yeah, he's pretty big out there, actually, but you never know who's watching. That's the message to everybody.
Yeah,
Always put out your music, put your best foot forward. You never know who's paying attention.
So you met him on Instagram?
On Instagram. He has like 500,000 followers. I have like 1,000. And he hit me up.
And he saw something in you. That's cool.
Yeah. And I was like, all right, let's do this. And yeah, the song came out really well.
Has your number of followers grown since?
Yeah, well, since I dropped this album, everything has increased a lot, to be honest. Because I'm an old foot. Like, I've been in the game for a long time, so I was kind of out the mix, and I've just been putting out things here and there, and like I get like 1,000 views, 1,000 hits sometimes. Last year, in total, I think I had 1,000 streams with all my records in total, and I dropped this one, and right now we're at 26,000.
Wow.
And it just keeps climbing. Yeah, and that's, for me, it's like, wow, because I really just did it for my day ones that hit me up in the street, like, cool, you don't do music no more, you don't have something. I was like, all right, I'll put something together. And yeah, it's playing in all kinds of countries. It's getting more spins in America than it is here, and that's never happened to me before. So yeah,
do you think the pandemic has sort of focused people's attention more to the streaming aspect and more to the online music and really looking for things on Instagram, and that's sort of what has caused this new surge in popularity?
That's possible. I didn't actually think about that, but it's very possible because yeah, there's a lot more of a concentrated energy on the internet versus like everywhere else. So yeah, I think that really is a good point. It's very possible that everyone's home, so it's like, hey, let's test out what's really
going on out there. Yeah,
exactly. Because usually, you're on the go. You don't really have time to stop and discover new music. But if you're home, it's different. It's like, all right, I can hear this.
So what are some of the things that you've learned along the way? Like, if you know, like an artist that's coming up right now, what would you tell them, is key, or what would you tell them are some of the mistakes that you made that you might want to avoid?
One thing is really find your sound. Although the world seems that, like, you just need to follow this cookie cut print of whatever everyone else is doing, I still think finding your sound is very crucial. Why, like, Tupac we still play his music, still play Biggie's music, still play everybody's, because they had the sound that you can only hear from them. So I find that that's very important. Find your sound and know the business. I wish I knew the business beforehand. A lot of things I was just putting out. Everybody tries to just put out just to be seen, just to be heard. But, like, you're not even trying to get placements on movies or try to get placements on TV shows. Your music could make money. It's supposed to make money for you, and you're supposed to get a return so you could keep on making it. But a lot of us are just putting out, and just hoping. But, like, learn the business, learn the other ways of making money in the business, so you don't have to sacrifice your art to make it. Because I was doing that for a second, where I was just trying to chase sounds, see what was hot, see what was popping, and I was just trying to follow whatever. And when you chase sounds, you're always behind. So I was just always trying to, okay, everyone's doing pop songs, let me try to do a pop song now. Okay, let me try. And then you just lose yourself and you lose your core fan base. So, like, you really have to learn your sound, know who you are, and stick to it, and believe in yourself. As cliche as that sounds, but believing in yourself is really is really big, because there's a time where your close friends, family aren't sharing your music, or there's people around you that you really expect to push you or support you, and they're not going to. And you have to believe in yourself. If you don't, then you're gonna really, then you feel it.
Yeah, I think that's a big thing that for people to take as a pearl is really, initially your family is there to support you, but they may not generally be into what you're into. So it's, really finding those people that are into what you're into and providing something for them.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And then you start feeling, you start getting in your feelings, and you start doubting yourself. Like, am I even nice? Like, if my own cousin ain't pushing my stuff, am I even... or my friend ain't pushing, but they have their own reasons, their own lives, that you just got to know that you believe in your product.
Yeah. Quickly you mentioned about getting to know the business, and I recently had a conversation with my niece, my goddaughter, and she's a visual artist, and I was talking to her, and she said, well, I really don't want to go to school for it. And I said, okay, cool, that's all right. But I really encouraged her to get to know the business side, to get to take business courses. What is your take on that? Because I find that as artists, I'm an artist, you're an artist, we want to focus on the art, right?
Yeah.
But we get caught up in, like, producing the art, writing, filming, directing, producing, all of that stuff, and then the business side of it. The money, the finance, the accounting, the looking for money, the building a base from where you can actually work has been, like, neglected. How do you?
Yeah, big time.
Is that something that you've experienced, and how have you, like, surmounted the challenges of that?
That's something I've experienced. I'm still experiencing, and I'm still trying to overcome, pretty much, because exactly that. As an artist, I'm super hands-on. I record all the songs from the album. I recorded myself. I go to the studio myself. I do so. But again, everything else was just not happening. Like, I was just getting a lot of music out, but no money. And the no money part starts hitting you. But then it's also, I'm looking online and I'm seeing just people that I won't put down anyone's talent, but just people that I wouldn't say are as talented as others, but they know how to handle their business.
They're hustling.
So they're actually more successful. Exactly. So they're more successful than talented people because they're hustling. And then that really just made me sit back and be like, hey, what am I not doing? So right now I'm actually currently working on a formula, and I'm trying to build a formula that I can actually give to other people and be like, this is what we need to do to keep it rolling, because it is a lot of confusion. That was the best part of having my brother as my partner. At one point, he would do the business part, but like once he started taking out the OFC and doing his own thing, I had to really rock back and be like, it's either I miss all these opportunities or I have to focus. And I had to really, it took me like maybe a year. I was just reading up stuff. I would buy different courses for online courses just to see how people were doing, even Facebook ads and just things on the back end. Because if you just keep throwing money at things, it's not the way. And there's a lot of ways to save money, and there's a lot of free money that people are getting that we're just not looking into. And yeah, it's an issue, but once once your pockets and everything start getting too tight, you have to stop and say, okay, it's either I don't make art anymore and I have to go get a job or do something that I don't want to do, or I really focus on how to get paid from this art, and you start dissecting it from there. But yeah, it's something I'm still working on. I don't have all the answers for it right now. I've figured out how to do with the sweater. I made this sweater. What's it called?
What does it say?
Challenge
tradition.
Okay.
Yeah, it's something I'll question what you know pretty much. But it's just even selling merch. It's the first time that I'm really getting on to selling merch, and
So you're selling merch too?
Website. Yeah.
Where are you selling the merch?
MCitysolo.com. You go on MCitysolo.com,
okay.
and it ships everywhere. And you can buy it online, and we ship worldwide, and everything's online. And even that drop shipping. There's just so many different avenues. Drop shipping is how that's a gem for some of you artists out there that if you don't know, it's how you can make clothes but not actually put up upfront costs. So you make it, and as long as it gets ordered, then the company will make it, and you put your price point on it. They give you back. They have their price point, you put your price point, and then they'll make it for you and ship it out. That's just right there. That's just a piece of game for some artists that I never knew, but a lot of artists did know, and they've been doing it for a long time. So it's just really, I have to take a time to stop and hit up Google and just how to do things without killing my pocket.
Yeah.
And so that's crucial. Just minimize the cost as much as possible. But luckily, the game is changing. The internet is really making things a lot easier. So yeah, but yeah,
I think it's
really
nice that I think it's nice that you're willing to share those tips. I find a lot of people, they learn a way or they figure out how to do something better, and they hold that stuff in. What is it, or why is it that you feel the need to share what some people would keep for themselves?
Well, one, as a Montreal artist, I just really like to see our city. Like whenever I'm giving out things in my mind, I'm just talking to Montrealers, even though there's more people that's probably listening. But I just want to see our city on a level. It's just, I don't know if all the other artists, a lot of artists just want to see themselves on a level. But like I know once we're all there, it's just gonna feel different. The whole vibe is gonna be different, and it's like I feel like we're all on the same team. We're all like we're not intercity yet. We're all on this house league team trying to figure it out. So there's no sense of
how you put Montreal in the house league.
Well, I'm saying we're not house league, but with us we are. Like we shouldn't be competing with each other. When we go against the world, it's like me, Kim, and everybody against the world.
Internally, we're house league.
Exactly. Internally, we're house league. So there's no sense in me like, I just dunked on you. Okay, congratulations, bro. Like that means nothing because we're all on the inside team. But like, we need to look good as a unit. So when we start going out and damaging the rest of the world, we all know that as a home, as a hub, we know that we all have each other and we all push each other, and then we all go out to the world and we just damage things. That, and I'm confident in my skill level, so I never felt that me giving someone else advice would dim my light. I shine as bright as I shine, and me giving someone else advice is not going to prevent me from shining. I feel like it's when people aren't confident in their own skills, they get scared to give out information because they're like, oh, you could take my information and go past me because you probably have more skills than me. So I don't feel that. I think my skills are up there as well as anybody else's. So I have no problem sharing information.
do you think about the Montreal music scene? Do you think it can be as great as well? I know people look at Toronto as sort of like the center of music for Canada. How does that make you feel? Do you feel like we have something going on here that's bigger and better and just not really getting the play?
Yep. I don't know about bigger, but because I'm from Montreal, Toronto, people that's listening, you guys aren't going to be too angry here. But yes, I think Montreal is better. And I just think we're more diverse. I think we have a lot of talent here. And, like, I just feel like it's the other part of our scene that still kind of needs work, as in, like, promoters or venues. And, like, you know, we still don't have that many locations we can go to. We don't have that many stations. Shouts to CKT. But other than that, we don't really have that much push for artists, that much things for artists to do to get money. Because, like, again, promotion, doing shows, that's crucial. Like, but there's no real promoters that's looking at the up-and-coming acts like, okay, you know what? I'm going to trust you. I'm going to put my dollars behind this and put a show behind you and sell some tickets. And what we still do is the whole, like, if you can't sell your tickets, then we ain't going. And that needs to change a bit. Like, I find it's just the behind the scenes of the industry that needs to be fixed. But art-wise, I feel like we're up there with anybody else. Okay. Yeah. On every level too. Spoken word, hip hop, singing, every level where we damage. I don't
know. I feel as though the Montreal crowd is more receptive as well. I don't know if you've sensed that. I don't know if you've performed in different places, different cities, and seen like a difference in terms of the reception.
Not so much. I've performed in Toronto a few times, but well, yeah, Montreal for me it's always home. So I've always gotten a good reception from Montreal crowds.
Nice. Sure. And what were your performances like in Toronto?
They were good. It was pretty much like school tour kind of energy. So it was really just positive, giving speeches. It was it wasn't like I didn't do like hardcore hip hop shows. I did like really light, you know, that the same vibe as the school shows. So it was still pretty good.
I'm so curious about the school shows.
Well, we're gonna take like, a little break. Because we do have to play some of Solo's tracks. Keep it locked. You are listening to Soul Perspectives here on CKUT 90.3 FM.